What if I told you that you're not crazy? What if I told you that Red Dead Online really does have decreased animal spawn rates? Well, I don't know about you, but if you told that to me, I'd ask you to prove it. And that's actually going to be pretty easy to do. We just have to set up the parameters for our experiment, and then we are off to the races. Now, I do want to say before we get into this, I am not a game designer. I don't claim to be, and I don't claim to know how hard it is. However, I do know how hard it is to find a deer in Red Dead Online after these recent updates, especially, most recently, the Frontier Pursuits DLC. So what exactly are we trying to figure out here? Well, do animals actually spawn at a higher rate during trader cell missions than they do just typically existing in the free roam world? There's been a lot of buzz about this online, and I figured I'd put it to the test today. And spoiler alert, there's an ungodly difference. But it's all about the journey. So for comparison's sake, we're running the same route on all of these that we can, and then we're running that same route in multiple Red Dead Online lobbies, and even in story mode, and then individually counting every bird and every animal that we see. Sounds like a lot, and that is because it absolutely was. However, now we have a definitive answer, and I'm going to share with you guys what I've found. So my initial approach was naturally to see if anyone else already had this information, which they didn't, but that didn't stop me from scouring Twitter and Reddit, searching for any shred of helpful information. But alas, until the PC port comes out on November 5th, we won't be able to get any of that juicy official data. So with that in mind, we turned to the old-fashioned way, counting every bird and four-legged creature over our entire ride by hand, which was actually a lot more revealing than I had previously suspected. What I had previously thought was a minor issue turned out to be something so bad, so night and day, that I almost feel like it's accidental in nature, meaning I don't think Rockstar did this on purpose. Now, the area we're going to be testing is totally arbitrary. When I logged into Red Dead Online, my camp was already pitched, so I just used that camp to run a trader cell mission and then made that our route for all of our other experiments, never straying from the path. Now, running this route without a trader cell mission active, counting all of the land animals or birds that we see, adding both routes together and dividing by 2 for our average, we get an average of 11.5 birds and 3 land animals per ride. And if you're sitting there thinking that's kinda low, well, you'd be right. 11.5 birds is already pretty bad, but just 3 animals for riding from the Heartlands to Blackwater is really low. But either way, we have ourselves the score to beat, 14.5 animals per trip on average. So now let's test our theory. If we're right, then we should count more per trip of both birds and land animals in our trader cell missions than we did without the missions being active. And after repeating the math from our first batch of experiments, hand counting, adding, dividing by 2, we get this. An average bird population of 55.5 and an average land animal population of 26. The difference here is staggering. Individually, the spawn rates are over 5 times higher for birds and a massive 13 times higher for animals. Altogether, a whopping total of 562% more animals when compared to the non-trader cell mission tests. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Now that we're this far, I thought I'd take a stab at trying to understand why this is happening. There's just no logical reason for 562% more animals to spawn when you can't feasibly hunt them unless it's an accident. Now, game design is a deeply complex field that I've only dabbled in, but I think I may have found us an answer, and that answer actually starts with the story mode. Now, Red Dead Redemption 2 is packed with life. There's your camp members, tons of people in towns, all the random people driving along the roads, mission givers, and a ton more. But what doesn't seem to correlate with the way that people spawn is animals. This piece of code came out from when Red Dead Redemption 2 got data mined near its initial release, showing the maximum pedestrians that could spawn at any given time in single player and in online, clearly showing the difference in spawn rates for both free roam worlds. However, because of the way single player was built, my guess is that missions are coded differently. Now, before we go any further, we need to talk about Atlas, which is actually a game design principle that I think is worth noting, but for an example, we actually have to turn to Minecraft. Now, when you spawn into Minecraft, only so much of the world spawns in with you. This is manageable in settings, and when you fly, you can start to see the edge of the world. This is because the world loads in a perfect circle around the player's location, so if you move, you'll spawn more of the world in whatever direction you're going, which effectively has the player holding up the entire world ergo the name Atlas. And if that still doesn't make sense, Atlas is the guy who held up the sky in Greek mythology. Okay, moving on. Now we can turn our attention back to Rockstar. I think there's a few different things going on here. One, Red Dead Online flat out has a lower spawn rate than story mode, which no one should be surprised at. It's just harder to run a game online than it is to play one natively, so graphics and density of objects and characters will always be higher offline. But two, I think there is a second animal spawning code that follows you on missions, originally built for the story mode that just got copied and pasted into online during development. Think about the ring of spawning we talked about in Minecraft, but instead of the entire world loading in, it's just extra animals spawning. Rockstar could have done this in the single player to make sure that no matter where the player was, the world looked like it was teeming with life, when in reality they're only spawning all those extra animals in your area instead of the whole map, which makes total sense from a developer's perspective. Why spawn a deer in Amberino if the player is in McFarlane's ranch and will never see it? Alrighty, so now that we are all up to date, what's actually going on here? Well, my best guess is that when creating missions for the trader, they used game code from the story mode to set a lot of parameters and rules about given situations, like get back to the wagon and other things like that. But when they added that to online, they didn't take out the animal spawning lines of code that were attached to that larger mission code, thus making it like anyone who starts a trader cell mission in online would now suddenly be in story mode levels of wildlife, which no doubt has put strain on the servers, potentially causing all the disconnects during trader cell missions that players have been experiencing. For more on those disconnects, you can click here. That card will take you to a video I did about the good, the bad, and the ugly of Red Dead Online. That, combined with the last video I did before this one and this video, are the 3 videos I'm most proud of on this channel, so if you guys haven't seen any of those, please go give them a watch. But to wrap it all up, here's your too long didn't watch. Animal spawn rates are lowered from single player by as much as about 5 times, but when you run a mission, that intact single player code kicks in, and you get a whopping 562% more animals spawning on you wherever you go, like your own little halo of wildlife. And I don't know about you, but this was kind of crazy for me. Like, this moment where I got all this information together and found out that this was gonna be the video that I was making really kind of took me by surprise. But what I think is really cool about it is A, now this is out here, hopefully it gets fixed very soon, and B, we aren't crazy. Like, one of my biggest things with this video was I wanted to make sure I was doing everything right, because I felt like this was probably not a real effect. Like, I did not think this was a real thing, and then after doing all the testing, not only is it a real thing, it's significantly real, it's very prominent, and I honestly can't believe that it took me counting birds by hand for this to get officially figured out. And there you go, internet, that is my ripoff of film theory for animal spawn rates. Wasn't quite up to snuff, I'm sure MatPat will let me know that in the comments, but you know, because MatPat watches all these videos. But I'm actually gonna use the rest of this time while I have your attention to announce something that I've been meaning to announce on this channel for a while, which is my merch line, and I finally got all the clothes in, and dude, they are so cool. I'm so excited about it. If you follow me on Twitter, you already know I was so excited when I got these. I did not think they were gonna be as good a quality as they are, and I'm very, very excited about them. We have a ton of shirts, we have a coffee mug, we have posters, we have, like, there's stuff there that I think you guys will really enjoy, so at least just go check it out. Please, you don't have to buy anything, but just go check it out and leave me your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you like some of the shirts, let me know. If you don't like some of the shirts, let me know. If you want some specific stuff, let me know. I'm totally open to doing a ton of stuff, and I have more stuff to announce with the merch coming soon, but I figured no time is like the present. Now, I know this was a little bit of a lengthy plug, but it obviously didn't warrant its own video because I mean, I'm not making an entire video about a merch line, but I figured taking a really well done video and slapping it at the end would be the best way to let you guys know about it. Like I said, I'm really proud of this. I've been sitting on these designs for a while. I think there's probably like 3 times the amount of designs that made it to the store that got canned, so if that tells you anything about how much this process has been for me. But yeah, thank you guys so much for all your support, and if you guys do want to check anything out, the link is in the top of the description. And I also wanted to say you guys will be seeing some ads show up from me. They're almost like sponsored posts, like as if somebody sponsored the video, but they're more like, this video is brought to you by this t-shirt, and it's like my t-shirt. And today's video is actually brought to you by the Collector and Finding Gavin t-shirts. If you guys want to pick up either of these shirts, or if you want to browse the rest of the Pineapple Presents store, check the link in the description down below. I thought it'd be funny, and I really wanted to like put ads in the videos for my stuff instead of like selling sponsorship spots, because like, I don't know, I'd just rather plug myself than I would plug a company. But anyway, I just really wanted to launch this because I wanted you guys to see it, and I've been sitting on these designs for so long now. The link will be in the top of the description for the merch, and if you guys do buy some, send me a screenshot on Twitter. Thank you guys for everything. We just passed 37,000 subscribers, I think. I don't know, you guys are crazy. It really blows my mind every time I log into my YouTube channel, and quite frankly, I don't want it to end, so I'm trying to make these videos as good as possible, and I want to make the merch as good as possible as well, so the only way it's gonna get there is if you guys roast it. So let me know in the comments section down below what you think, and I'll see you guys very soon with a brand new Red Dead Online video. Peace.